Thanks for the content. Live employment, Canada Bay Club, Loomis Energy, Insight, the Intelligence Group, Functional Fire, Select Events, Nugent State, and last but not least, Arrow Act. Firstly, the first grade lineup consisting of Foxy as follows.
Number 1,
Chloe Farrell. Number 2, Gabrielle Teague. Number 3, Ebony McCushaw. Number 4, Baxter Hugh. Number 5, Sarah Yadam. Number 6, Nadine Key. 10, Maya Fernandez. Number 11, Michelle Borromeo. Number 12, Olivia Alicia. Number 13, Tara Boadana. Number 17, Maxine Keith. Number 20, Raina Victoria. Number 21, Brianna Clark. Number 23, Chloe Gordon. Number 25, Priya Uraga. Number 26, Jaya Bowman. And number 36, Bella Yulby. And now for the lineup for our first grade women's team and the individual players. Number 1, Sophie Megan, by WNPC. Number 5, Matilda Gilbo.
It's safer
by
to have it on because just in case you fall asleep, you don't want to keep watching. You have to plug it out.
7, Charlotte Lancaster, by White Women. Number 8, McNulty, by Watson Flex Space.
1, 2, 3.
Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Yeah, you got levels. That's good. Sorry. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. You got earphones?
Who's your MCR?
Messaging you.
So, testing. 1 2. Oh, so hang on. Firstly, let me see if I can come. Oh, that works. Okay. So if my maximum volume would be something like this, it's a big chance for APIA Leichhardt. Is it? And then, oh, that was a close one for Sydney Olympic. Is that? Yep, that's good. Okay, cool. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the second part of this men's and women's first grade doubleheader at Lambert Park. It's NPL Women's New South Wales time, and it's a big one between APIA Leichhardt and Sydney Olympic. Eric Subihano here in the scaffold at Lambert Park, trying to stay dry and as warm as I can, so the conditions aren't the best, but still we should be set for another great game in this wonderful competition. Well, for APIA Leichhardt, they had a much-needed win last time out, 3-1 away to Northern Tigers, and a couple of new signings and their team as well, which we'll get onto in a moment. While for Sydney Olympic, still trying to find their first win of the 2025 campaign, but they've also reinforced since the conclusion of the A-League women's season, and players going back to be available for NPL competition. But let's go through the two sets of lineups. Firstly, for APIA Leichhardt, led by their coach, Brad Attard. In goal, number 1, Sophie Magus. And number 5, Teal Kilbride. Number 6, Terera Moana Walker, although we should probably just call her Mona Walker from now on. Number 7, Charlotte Lancaster. Number 8, Hannah McNulty. Number 11, the captain, Ashley Crofts. Number 13, Jordan Jasnos. Number 14, Mia Golding. Number 20, Zoe Panagopoulos. Number 24, Christina Kachich. And number 38, Alyssa Rose. APIA in their famous colours, the maroon jerseys with the light blue shorts, while for their opponents, Sydney Olympic, their lineup is as follows. The goal for them will be number 21, Brianna Clark. Then number 2, Gabrielle Peake. Number 3, Ebony McHugh-Shaw. Number 4 is the captain, Baxter Thew. Number 6, new signing for Sydney Olympic, Aideen Keane. Then number 11, Rochelle Borromeo. Number 12, Olivia Lisiak. Number 20, Helena Molesky. Number 23, Chloe Gordon. Number 26, Jaya Bowman. And number 36, Bella Boise Yulden. So right on cue, there's the whistle. Away we go. Olympic also in there, the famous colours of blue and white. Pretty traditional for any team named Olympic in this country. And round 11 of NPL Women's New South Wales for 2025. Already close to the halfway mark of the season. It's been another entertaining contest. And I do love this filming position, by the way, is just a brief moment. So for APIA. Backup keeper is Paige Cuthill, but might hold that thought. Let's see how this attack goes. There's Walker on the far side up against McHugh Shaw, and Walker, I think she first thought to shepherd it out, instead she just plays it to a teammate. And the ball in, and a very confident shot from the APIA shot stopper, Sophie Mankus. By the way, just to finish that thought, the APIA bench, yes, Paige Cuthill, backup keeper. The others that we could see later in the game, Gisela Pepino, Estelle Fragale, who's back from duty with the women's Lysiak. Lysiak to the stray, backs to Thew. A little bit too aggressive according to Lucy Hungerford, the referee, and it's going to be an APIA free kick. McNulty. As APIA tried the Joe Marston side of the ground. McNulty to Walker. And Walker, excellent diagonal pass. Finding Jasnos, her first chance to get forward from left back. Contact on the cross, not quite what she wanted. And it's Keane who is back defending. No ball looking to find Lysiak, but it's read well by Christina Kicic. Christina Kicic, her first season at APIA Leichhardt. Also received youth recognition, been selected for Australian national team squads. Decent goal for it as well. Was the match winner, I think, back in round 2 on this very patch of synthetic turf. Her 2 goals helping APIA defeat the Ravens as Jasnos with the cross intercepted by Thew, and that'll be out for a throw-in. So the other games being played as we speak, and this, of course, being roughly a 5:15 p.m. kickoff, or possibly just a little bit later, about 5:20. There were 4 games scheduled for 5 p.m. They were actually 4 other games scheduled for 5 p.m. in this division. So it was a battle of the West, with the league leaders Mount Druitt Town Rangers hosting Western Sydney Wanderers, and Nicholas Kutniak with the commentary there. I believe the roster saying Angela to Pulbay would be providing photography for Football New South Wales. Good to see a couple of my friends getting involved out west there. Also great to see Nicholas Kutniak calling from a media box at Popondetta Park after he hassled Mount Druitt for years until they finally built one. So yeah, good on. Thanks for your service to our team, Nicholas. But the other 5 p.m. women's games are Illawarra Stingrays versus Manly United. So that's 2 teams who've started the season well. That's at Macedonia Park on the south coast. There's Sydney University versus Gladesville Ravens at the Sydney University football ground. By the way, a canteen that does some lovely fish tacos there at Sydney Uni. Then there's also University of New South Wales versus the Newcastle Jets Academy at the Village Green in Kensington. APIA maintaining possession at the back. Here's Walker in the centre circle, and actually a late sub in the commentary team as Pete gets her foot in the way. Late sub in the commentary team because at Kensington for that University of New South Wales versus Jets game. Good run by Keane. And Keane with the cross to the far post, and the runner not quite in position quick enough. Molesky tried her best, but it is cleared out by Golding. Yeah. A long-time Football New South Wales media member Justin Davies, the late sub in to be on the commentary for UNSW versus Newcastle Jets. So it's going to be a big day for Justin, who is also the Football New South Wales League One women's reporter, the reporter for the 2nd division. McNulty's back defending, wants an option. Olympic trying to box her in, but McNulty's done well to get out of it. Now, Crofts wants a decision, and I think he is saying that the jersey got pulled, but there will be no decision. Let's see. Of course, wet weather always makes me worry about Stingrays home games. It's a natural grass pitch, unlike this synthetic one here. And it's a newly rejuvenated pitch here at Lambert Park, by the way, but yes, actually, I've just seen a photo of the pitch at Macedonia Park because I spent too much time looking at my phone, and actually the pitch looks to be in pretty good nick, which is what you want to see because there's been a few washouts around the grounds this weekend. Strong tackle from Golding, and Golding, the early ball, looking for Crofts. Crofts tried to get a touch on it. It's Thew getting there just in time, and you'd assume Crofts will be the focal point, not just because she's the centre forward, but also because she scored 9 times this season already, or nearly at double figures is Ashley Crofts. She almost had a chance there. In fact, she scored exactly half of the goals APIA have scored across League and Cup this season. 9 out of 18 for APIA's number 11, including a couple of hat-tricks. One against the Jets in a game that was played over 2 different nights. I'll explain that one later. And also one, in fact, against Olympic in the Sapphire Cup earlier this month. And it's played forward. An interception. And now Walker looking for a run. Walker. Olympic backing off for now, tries to make something happen. Lancaster takes a tumble, but Thew ruled to have won the ball cleanly. Bit of a centre-back run there from Thew. And Mikushaw will chase this, tracked by Panagopoulos. Mikushaw plays it down the line now. Molesky, another touch down the line. Kilbride should be there. And it's something didn't occur to me until I was actually calling some names. It's a fair few ex-Northern Tigers on this field today for both APIA and Olympic, as Thew gets there ahead of Lancaster. Don't know why that thought entered my head. Maybe the drizzle and the rain just reminded me of the Northern Tigers home ground in North Taramara. That was probably it. Rose. Back, Kilbride. Pressed by Lysiak. Finds Rose again. And Rose, well, wanted to go direct. She was charged down by Borromeo. That's Mikushaw back to Clark, the keeper, who will be under pressure from Crofts here. And Clark goes for touch. Brianna Clark, pretty distinctive with that headgear that she's worn basically every time I've seen her, whether it's been in outdoor or futsal. And Brianna Clark, long-time futsal Premier League keeper for both Quake and then more recently with Eastern Suburbs Harcoa Futsal Club. And this provides my obligatory Mel Keith shout-out because literally cannot remember the last time I called one of these women's games without a player that Mel Keith has coached in futsal at some point. Hope you're doing well, Mel. Hope you're staying dry. Olympics Chloe Gordon, another, what I like to call another Mel Keith prodigy on the futsal court. Anyway, it's Kachich to Jasnos. To have swapped wingers because McNulty's now on the left and takes a tumble under pressure from Gabby Peak. Now McNulty, to be fair, she was on the ground, but she stuck her foot out against her former Tigers teammate Aideen Keane, who's won the throw-in for APIA. Off the top of my head, across the two matchday squads, Mona Walker, Tilga Bride, also former Northern Tigers. So is Maxine Peak on the Olympic bench. Maxine Peak, good option to bring. Very good option to bring on later in the game for Olympic. She scored, was well into double figures last season. Her best ever goal scoring season in this competition. As Thew under pressure plays it out. Kilbride bounces it off Rose. Kachich and looking around to see if the rain had stopped. No, the wind is just blowing in a slightly different direction, so my face isn't getting wet. We can only hope, as the ball will be too straight and easy for Brianna Clark to gather. Now, Crofts might take advantage, uses her speed. Ashley Crofts is in. It's a great one-on-one save from Brianna Clark. That's really her specialty. She's always so brave to rush off her line and sporting behavior as well. And Brie Clark making sure that Ashley Crofts is okay. And indeed she is. Quarter of an hour played here at Leichhardt. 0-0 between APIA Leichhardt and Sydney Olympic in this NPL Women's New South Wales Round 11 match. And the shot from Walker is a little bit off balance as he shot it, and it's the big net behind the Olympic goal. Clark, let everyone take a breather, and she's going to go long from the goal kick. Swings left and away, bounces away from Mikushaw. Golding tried to throw in so Crofts could flick on. Instead, it's Olympic who take over with Thew. Gordon. And once again, Gabrielle Peak with some room in front of her. But Walker read the play well, has helped to break it up, and McNulty finishes the job. So APIA take over once again as he's Kachich. So mentioned the Cup earlier because these two teams met on the 1st of May at Valentine Sports Park in round 3 of the Sapphire Cup. An interception there from Boise Yulden in the centre circle. It is McHugh Shaw looking for options. See, testing memories. Is Ebony McHugh Shaw another Melky futsal prodigy? I'll have to think about that one. But anyways, Peak can't link up with Aiden King. Oh, yes. So we did have the 3rd round of the Sapphire Cup the last few weeks, and the round at which the top tier teams, the NPL teams, enter. And the draw for round 4 was done recently, and there's 6 of the 8 round 4 games have been scheduled. So 6 of them will be played in the next couple of days. So on Tuesday, it's Northern Tigers hosting one of the fairy tale stories of the competition, Quakers Hill Junior Soccer Club from the Blacktown Association, who knocked out Bankstown City in round 2. But another big task as Northern Tigers host Quakers Hill Juniors. I think that 7:15 p.m. kickoff on Tuesday at North Taramara. That's just, some games just sound cold when you list them, and that's one of them. Good tackle from McHugh Shaw. There's also 5 Sapphire Cup round 4 games on Wednesday the 21st. So a bit of a WOSO Wednesday for you. 4 of them at 7:30 p.m. You got the League 1 women's leaders, Hills United. They make the long trip to Linwood Park to play MacArthur Rams. There's a Western Sydney derby at Rudy Hill. Western Sydney Wanderers Academy hosting the PNFC. Also in Western Sydney, Blacktown City from the 2nd tier hosting UNSW from the top tier. And another feel-good park football story. Connells Point Rovers from, I believe, the St George Association hosting Sydney University at Poulton Park. There's also an 8 p.m. kickoff at the Arctic Circle as the touch from Lancaster. I think she tried to loop it over Clark but didn't get the power required to beat the keeper. But on Wednesday, an 8 p.m. 4th round, 8 p.m. Cup round 4 kickoff at the Arctic Circle. Where it's an all NPL clash. Bladesville Ravens hosting Mount Druitt Town Rangers. My goodness. 8 p.m. 8 p.m. for a Ravens home game. Going to need my puffer jacket as Jasnos stops Keane getting to the ball, but then might have been closed down. And Keane back to goal inside the box. Trying to shake off Jasnos, and that's a wonderful tackle from Jasnos. Had to be spot on in the area, and indeed she was. Gordon recycles. Now, Peak. Keane. Again taking on Jasnos. And that's the decision. It is a corner. The first corner of the game goes to the visitors. It's going to be an interesting battle, which we'll have a great view of, especially in the first half. 2 players who've been youth internationals for Australia, Jordan Jasnos and Aideen Keane. It's actually good to see Jasnos back up and running after recovering from, I believe it was a broken leg, suffered about 18 months ago. Here's the corner. I think that's Chloe Gordon about to deliver. And to the far post, over the crowd. Now, potential shot at the back. Round the back was Molesky. Didn't get the contact right. APIA clear. And Peak has got to be quick because she's being pressed by Panagopoulos. Back to her keeper. She goes. And there's a Olympic player out from the back, of course. 6 round 4 Sapphire Cup games already been scheduled. 2 yet to be confirmed in terms of daytime venue. But they are APIA Leichhardt will have an away game also, by the way, at the Arctic Circle against Spirit FC. So presumably that's another freezing cold 8 p.m. kickoff at Macquarie Park. And the final one is another good story. 2 local association teams. Wingfield from Northern Suburbs FA will host Coogee United from Eastern Suburbs FA for a place in the Sapphire Cup quarterfinals. Yeah, and for Coogee, it's a chance to make it back-to-back quarterfinal appearances in the Sapphire Cup. Coogee United having a great time with it. They're also the 2024 Champion of Champions winners. So clearly they're doing something right over there in the East. As McHugh Shaw, she did keep it in, but then immediately invited the pressure from Panagopoulos, and that will roll along the touchline. I think everyone thought it was going to go out, and Golding rewarded for being attentive because it didn't roll out. Now APIA will get it on the move with Kachich. Jasnos keeps it in, but that allows Keane, and Aiden Keane takes over. Borromeo back to Keane, and there's some room here. As she heads to the edge of the box, Here's Keane, and she shoots. It's off the crossbar, and Lysiak on the rebound. Kilbride clears behind. It was a thrilling run from Keane. And you've seen what she can do most recently in A-League for Canberra United. Absolutely pinned the ears back, shifted it onto the left foot, and she was millimetres away from opening the scoring. It stays 0-0 here between APIA and Olympic at Lambert Park. Eric Subihano with the commentary here from this famous venue in Sydney's Inner West. We're about midway through the first half here. In swinging corner coming up. Olympic second corner. It's slow to the edge. They're changing it up. Boise Yulden couldn't keep it down, but still a great idea. And Olympic smart to vary the approach from the set piece. Boise yielded in lots of space with time to measure her shot, but it has gone over. Magus goes right. Kilbride. APIA in this phase of play, Walker dropping between the centre backs to kind of provide the solidity at the back, allow the fullbacks to step up higher, because Jasnos right in front of us is a potential option. Walker tried to reach her. It ends up being a throw-in. Few clears. Kachich, very strong tackle against Lysiak. It's the kind of attention APIA are looking for in a defensive sense. Lysiak, Olympics top scorer for the season so far with 3, and the only Olympic player to have scored multiple goals at this point in the season. As Panagopoulos has won it back in a decent position, but she was forced backwards as Olympic scrambled to get in position. Rose back to Kilbride. First time pass, can't find McNulty. McNulty loops it over Boise Yulden, and then Boise Yulden doesn't give up, and at least that'll allow Olympic to step up, and backs the Thew. Very insistent that her teammates step up with her. Rose doesn't like her forward options, turns back. Kachich. Lancaster wanted it more direct, and Lancaster did it take a touch? No, it didn't take a touch off Olympic. So throw in for Olympic right by not just any canteen, one of the best canteens in NPL New South Wales here at Lambert Park. Definitely the best coffee. Shout out to Joe. Joe from Lambert Park, best barista in Sydney, as Keane shrugs off a challenge and evades Kachich. What are her passing options like? Keane cutting inside. Keane tries to measure the pass. She does measure it. Here's Molesky. Big save from Magus. Now first time effort from Boise Yulden, and Magus knows that's going well wide of the target. But took a touch, so Olympics' third corner of the game coming up. Just niche point as we point that entered my head as we saw that one-on-one save from Magus. Excellent save from the APIA shot stopper. Now I'm really testing my memory. I believe these were the 2 goalkeepers from the Open Women's Futsal Premier League Grand Final in December 2019 between Inner West Magic and Quake, I think. Sounds about. My pre-lockdown memories are the strongest, let's be honest, but sounds about right. As Gordon deliver from the flag, decent ball, and APIA take a couple of touches before it is cleared by Jasnos. Borromeo intercepts, and she'll try from range. She thought Magus was an inviting distance off the line, but not the elevation required to properly test APIA's number 1. Kachich will switch right to Jasnos, but then Keane has taken over, and this battle continues. Keane and Walker stepping in there. And he's throwing off Chloe Gordon. Maxathew continuing to yell out the instructions. Jasnos, when in doubt, just go down the line. Crofts shielding it. Back to Rose. And there's quite a bit of synthetic turf in front of Rose, so she tries from a long way out. That's wide. Multitasking, but my strong point is Thew tries to play it out from the back. I mean, there's a lot of people that say I'd struggle to do one thing at a time, but just thought just occurred to me, as I did mention players like Aideen Keane coming back into this competition after the completion of their A-League women responsibilities. Always interesting to see which A-League players are joining us the NPL comp, as McNulty tries to turn on the edge of the box. Can't shake off Gabrielle Peak. So she passes to Rose. And the ball, oh, it's a great ball for Golding. Cut back. Here's Crofts, and Ashley Crofts with a clinical finish. Set up beautifully by first Rose, then Golding, who kept her cool when reaching the byline. Found her captain in lots of space, and Ashley Crofts has hit double figures again. That's 10 for the season. We're still in mid-May. And it's APIA Leichhardt 1, Sydney Olympic 0. A wonderful team move. Credit to Hannah McNulty as well, who was on the edge of the box but facing backwards. Didn't panic. Hannah McNulty saw the backwards option was the best one. It opened up for Rose, and then a couple of brilliant passes later. And Ashley Crofts has stuck it expertly into the bottom corner. There's recent activity on the APIA socials. Ashley Crofts recently reached the 50 goal mark for APIA Leichhardt. It's incredible. She joined them for the start of the 2023 season, so not even 2.5 seasons later, already past the half century in terms of goals. Added responsibility for Crofts with the captain's armband this year as well. A thought has occurred to me. I suspect Ashley Crofts isn't far off 100 NPL New South Wales for, well, actually, how do I put this? 100 New South Wales senior goals if you combine her Sapphire Cup and NPL New South Wales first grade exploits. Well, that could be my next research project. As Walker glides past the challenge, Keane giving chase. Keane has not fouled. Walker. Now Keane wants the diagonal ball and gets it. Here's Keane. A couple of runners. Jasnos crunching tackle. Olympic go on with Borromeo. Leaves it for Peak. Kachich has been dragged out of the center to defend. Here's Walker. And Walker. Borromeo stayed strong. Jasnos getting involved there as well. And Jasnos trying to play out with Walker, and the touch off Olympic. So good defending there from APIA. So I thought maybe the theme for today will be discovering which A-League players have gone into NPL by looking up the dribble lineups for this round. It's actually inadvertent clearance into the assistant nearest to us, Gabriella Archidiacono, but it's okay to continue. Good sporting behaviour to check that, from that APIA player to check that Gabriella was okay. So I did discover yesterday, by the way, Jasmine Black, who's made her Sydney FC debut during the recent A-League Women's season, most recent A-League Women's season, also received her first call up to the Young Matilda squad. Actually, Jasmine Black also a recipient of a future Matilda scholarship for 2025. She's now the Northern Tigers first grade goalkeeper. Discovered that yesterday. As it's forward towards Lancaster, chased by Thew, and Lancaster Lancaster does deliver, and McNulty with the header. Doesn't get the power to trouble Clark. But great cross from Lancaster. Header from Borromeo. Walker. That's it. Run away from her, and then Walker fouls Rosie Walker. Now, going to be a 50-50 here. Jasnos has got to it ahead of peak. What are her passing options like? One for Lancaster to chase but Bree Clark with a comprehensive clearance, and the wind is picked up again here at Lambert Park. Oh no. Tackle from Walker there. But the Olympics still have it. Here's Gordon. There doesn't get through the RP defensive structure. Walker's having a good game so far. It does remind me. So as always, on Mondays during the season, keep an eye out for the NPL Women's New South Wales Team of the Week, collated by 321 votes from the Football New South Wales media. It was interesting to see who makes it. Now Golding takes a tumble. That's going to be a free kick in a very promising position, and tell you what, the left-footed Charlotte Lancaster is extremely interested in this dead ball. It's a great position for a left-footed to launch it in-swing into the middle, although if you're familiar with Charlotte Lancaster's play, that is one player who could go direct for goal from this situation. As I said earlier, 3 goals direct from corners for Lancaster since joining APIA. Last year, actually one last year against Olympic, now that I remember. One last year in the semi-final against Stingrays, and then last weekend against Northern Tigers. So Lancaster faced up with 2 in the wall. Clark making sure it's positioned just as she wants it. There's also a player stationed on the far post for Olympic, but here's Lancaster. It's flat and blocked by Thew at the near post. Panagopoulos leaves it for Lancaster, and she'll shoot, and it's over. Oh, the contact from Lancaster's left boot got some fans to the right of our filming position excited, but just a little bit too much elevation. Charlotte Lancaster, Kiwi Youth International, absolute cannon of a left foot. And that is why they call it the Kiwi Katie McCabe. Well, I call it that, you should as well. As it's marshaled away from Crofts, Clark will clear to safety. Gradually think about players who've joined this competition in the mid-season transfer window. Well, this isn't, so I thought of another one, because this isn't a player involved in the most recent A-League Women's season. She does have a fair bit of A-League Women's experience, and it's one to warm the hearts of those on the Northern Beaches, because Chloe O'Brien back at Manly United. 2-time championship winner for Manly, former Manly captain as well. Folk up there absolutely delighted to see Chloe back in Manly colours. So I might keep an eye on, I think, Keane, just to make sure she's okay. I think she's just fixing her socks and shin pads. And that's some encouragement from the Olympic bench. As, the pressure results in this throw-in. They get the flick, but read well by Rose. And just opposite us at the Joe Marston Pavilion, I can see long-time Football New South Wales photographer Damien Briggs in position, braving the cold, the wind and the rain to take more excellent photographs. Actually, we'd call this a double-header earlier on. It's the first grade double-header across the men and the women. But of course, games the whole day here at Lambert Park, as is just pretty much the case throughout the season. It's actually an APIA Women's Under-23 game against Olympic after this one. So just to round off the day. Golding once again getting forward. Molesky turns, loses out to Lancaster. And Lancaster delivers right-footed. It's the pole holding up the net for behind the Olympic goal. To the final 10 minutes of the first half here. If you're just joining us, Eric Subihano with the commentary from a cold and drizzly at Lambert Park. But so far, a scoreline to warm the hearts of APIA Leichhardt fans because it's their captain, Ashley Crofts, who has given APIA a 1-0 lead over Olympic with her 10th goal of the season. And really, Ashley Crofts, she scored double figures in this competition in 2019, 2022, 2023, and 2024. So Crofts getting to double figures, really an NPL New South Wales tradition by this point. And if you're wondering what about 2020 and 2021, well, there were things that happened that affected those seasons, so I think we can forgive her and, in fact, basically everyone else for not being in double figures. In fact, a couple of shortened seasons in 2020 and 2021 due to lockdowns, obviously. But nice ball. Swung out to Peak, and now down the line, Keane once again, but Jasnos looks like she has the position. And clears it over the sideline. Once again, despite the protestations, decision goes APIA way. It's a bit of an up and under. Past McNulty, then Gordon trying to control it. Here's Rose, and she puts enough pressure on Thew to force the pass back to Clark. They try the other side with McHugh Shaw. Peak goes direct. It's over Kachich. Kilbride is round on the cover, and the pressure's coming from Molesky. Forward it goes. Rose finding Golding. There's Panagopoulos, in fact, being forced backwards before it's slammed into him. I think Lysiak, and Vegas knows she can use the gloves. Chasing that time, Marshall blow by McHugh Shaw. And pass there, it opens up Lancaster. Flag will stay down. From Eliza Skinner, assistant on the far side, it's cleared over the sideline. Panagopoulos turns away from trouble. She'll shoot. It's high and wide. Another A-League player joining this competition. Anna Harada, her Wanderers duties are finished, and she's going to stay in Western Sydney. She's joined Mount Druitt Town Rangers. A story Mount Druitt Town Rangers are, by the way. Newly promoted, first time in the women's top tier, leading the league as we hit the halfway point of the season. As well as we reach the halfway point of the season. So not quite. Not A-League news, but someone returning from abroad. I see on the Mount Druitt bench, Adelaide Wyszynski. He's back in Australia after going to the USA to play college soccer. It's a point of interest too. Well, probably just to me specifically, as Olympic dink it over the top. Lysiak will chase, and Lysiak into Kachich. isolated handball shouts, which Lucy Hungerford absolutely not interested in. And then a nice touch from Lancaster towards APIA's other Kiwi, Mona Walker. But the return pass overhit. Walker will press though, and Walker's won it off Chloe Gordon. Slaying challenge there from Bowman, and it was necessary from an Olympic perspective. Bowman plays a little 1-2 with Lysiak, and now Bowman for Molesky to chase. Magus perhaps could have picked it up instead. Decides to clear it into Olympic territory. So regarding Mount Druitt's squad, that point of interest to me specifically, I did notice that Philippines Youth International Isabella Preston is on the Mount Druitt bench. Actually, Adelaide Brzezinski also has Filipino heritage. That's good for me. Yes. Always good to see my compatriots Mangakababayan populating the teams in this competition. Just like Rochelle Borromeo out there for Olympic. Another one of my compatriots. Also, MacArthur Rams captain Chantel Manidi. Has senior caps for the Philippines. I'll keep thinking about that. A couple of good touches. Rose is quick enough to keep it away from Borromeo. Walker. Once again, dropping between the centre backs, you can see, well, maybe you can see, but possibly off frame, but the fullbacks for APIA, Golding and Jasnot's very, very high up the pitch as it goes direct to Crofts. Decent first touch. And the second touch is a shot, which Thew blocks. And Thew got enough on it to take the sting out of it. Clark gathers, prevents the goal kick. Well, for backs to Thew. Back in this competition. She's originally from Western Australia. And she made a name in the NPL Western Australia comp, playing for a team with a long name, Murdoch University Melville FC. That was shortened to Mum FC, which I think is adorable. Baxter Thew, as I said, second stint here in the NPL New South Wales comp, previously of Bankstown City. In a sense, she swapped red and black for white and blue. Of course, that Bankstown City shout out. My cue to give a shout out to former Bankstown City coach, actually former APIA coach, Matt Costantini. He said he'd be tuning in, so thanks for your support of our streams, Matthew. Costantini would know this ground very well. Has from his time coaching, has a couple of famous wins right here at Lambert Park. As Peak controls well, faces up with McNulty. Out wide, here's King. Now Lysiak tries to nick it past Kachich. And Kachich, well, there's a decision, and it's Lysiak pinged for the jersey pull on Kachich. Very good defending, and a free kick coming up. First half stoppage time. I imagine there wouldn't be too much that Lucy Hungerford has decided to add. One more thought. Did we see for Glacier Ravens, they've signed Miku Sunaga after her Perth Glory season is finished, so she's been excellent in this competition previously. Sunaga for MacArthur Rams, now playing for Glacier Ravens, and there's the whistle. And it's a case of so far so good for the hosts, because APIA Leichhardt take a 1-goal lead into the dressing sheds. It was their captain, Ashley Crofts, with a clinical finish into the bottom corner. And it's given them the advantage at half-time. It's Eric Subihano with the commentary for today's game from Lambert Park. We will take a short break, about 10 minutes or so, then we'll be back for the second half. welcome back to the second half of our NPL Women's New South Wales broadcast from Lambert Park, this historic ground here in Leichhardt. And it's the home side, APIA, leading by a goal to nil. Goal in the 29th minute from Ashley Crofts. She's getting ready for this kickoff, and she looks, to be honest, a little bit cold, but at least now she can run around as we're underway for the second period of this round 11 clash. Did take a quick look around the grounds at halftime, so with the brief disclaimer that there's a slight chance that the little score displays in the other streams are not correct, but we're correct 99.9% of the time, as there's a good turn from Crofts and she delivers. Lancaster gives chase. Clark falls on the ball. Just briefly, by the way, I did notice a halftime substitution. So for Olympic number 5, Sarah Yatim. Is that back at Olympic? Great player to bring off the bench. Plenty of experience in this competition. As one championship winner with Manly United as well, and her experience, her attacking qualities could be just what Olympic need as they chase this game. So I'm trying to figure out who is the player withdrawn. Gordon picks one up, and of course Loftus' pass is going to be tricky in this wind. Lancaster challenging with the header. Sarah Yatin has taken up the position on the left side of Olympic's three-player front line. Just trying to do a bit of a process of elimination to see who she's replaced. The fourth official in this competition. So it's a little bit of an old school experience. With the time added on, well, your guess is as good as mine. And clearance from Thew, by the way, and in fact, so Olympic have made at least 2 subs at halftime, because number 17 is Maxine Peake. There's Thew to Jai Bowman, and they work it well. Now Collie Gordon, McHugh Shaw towards Yatim. Tracked, they swarm in it very quickly as Golding, and they also Golding almost closed down by her own teammate. Golding plays it down the line, but doesn't get it very far. Gets it back off Maxine Peake. APIA staying strong, forcing the backward pass to the defenders. Thew tries the other side. Gabrielle Peake. So Gabrielle and Maxine, once again, twin peaks for Sydney Olympic. APIA, good defending on the far side of the field, and Lancaster will go on a run. Tries to go direct, but it's a little bit too direct, and Ashley Crofts, fast as she is, was not catching up to that one. Now Clark, it's an interesting ball, and Panagopoulos swoops. Panagopoulos rides a challenge, has a passing option, she uses that. Here's Lancaster, tight angle, and Charlotte Lancaster has absolutely thumped the ball into the net. APIA Leichhardt come out of the blocks for the second half, absolutely flying. The assist from Panagopoulos as well, and Charlotte Lancaster, it's 2 goals in 2 weeks. Saw her score direct from the corner last weekend against Northern Tigers. This one much closer in. Is absolutely emphatic. Another thunderous left-footed shot from the Kiwi. All eyes are on Lancaster. I did just remember one of my favorite Charlotte Lancaster facts when she was at Wellington Phoenix, and they were a bit short of goalkeepers. She was actually the backup keeper for a game. It's one of my favorite things. Outfielders in goal when it happens, but Charlotte didn't actually get on the field as a keeper that time, but from all reports she enjoyed the experience, and she's enjoying the start to this second half now. She finds McNulty, tracked by Thew. So, I'm still working on who the 2 Olympic players were that were replaced. I suspect that the withdrawn players were number 20 Helena Molesky and number 12 Olivia Lisiak. Two good options brought on in Maxine Peak. And Sarah Yatim, who's pressuring Golding right now. And Yatim will be too physical with that challenge on Golding. So APIA free kick coming up. I was interested by how teams approach free kicks from this sort of position. You'd think it's too far out for a shot. Lofting it into the middle from such a central position, quite difficult. That's what Alyssa Rose is contemplating right now. So I suspect that APIA Leichhardt unchanged at the start of the second half. Rose does go direct. Lancaster will give chase, but it escapes everyone. Goal kick. And the shortest goal kick possible rolled out to Baxter Thew. Now, Jaya Bowman. APIA trying to squeeze them up against the near touchline. McHugh Shaw goes back. Bowman. Decent switch. Now there's Gabrielle Peak. There's the header from Walker for APIA. It's got up for grabs here. Borromeo settles it, and then Thew finds McHugh Shaw in space. Yatin. Voice Yulden. One for Gabrielle Peak to run after. She does get there, so more defending for, I think that's Jasnos on the far side, but Gabrielle Peak does cross. It's a confident gather from Magus. Still scanning the jersey numbers to see if Brad Attard made a sub at half-time. Don't think he did. Swept up by Bowman, back to Clark it goes. Now 99.99% confident that Brad Attard did not make a half-time substitution. So we might just get the appropriate break and play just to confirm the lineups. Hopefully confirm the two sets of 11 out there for each team, as it skips away from Jasnos, but Kachich anticipated well, was on the cover just in case. It's no dramas for the hosts. We now lead by 2 goals to 0. Courtesy of goals from Ashley Crofts in the first half and Charlotte Lancaster right at the start of the second half. Now Lancaster has been pinged for offside to the, shall we say, consternation of the APIA fans to our right. For APIA Leichhardt, just a confirmation of the 11 players out there. Roughly a 4-3-3 formation as we see it. It's Sophie Magus in goal. The back four from right to left, number 13, Jordan Jasnos. Number 24, Christina Kachich. Number 5, Teal Kilbride. Number 14, Mia Golding. In midfield, number 6, Mona Walker. Number 38, Alyssa Rose. And number 20, Zoe Panagopoulos. And up front, number 7, Charlotte Lancaster. Number 11, Ashley Crofts. And number 8, Hannah McNulty. As Keane cuts inside. And Aiden Keane brought down. Free kick in a very promising position for APIA Leichhardt. Jordan Jasnos is the first player into Lucy Hungerford's notebook. Well, it's a somewhat clumsy challenge there from Jasnos. No intent, just was definitely trying to win the ball, but Keane a little bit too quick that time. And now it is Aiden Keane discussing what Olympic do from this set piece. Vital one, fallen behind by the extra goal at the start of the second half. Keane assesses it and goes for goal and hits the crossbar again. So that's twice Aiden Keane has been denied by the frame with the goal. Left-footed strike hit the bar in the first half, and now with a right foot denied at the start, early stages of the second half. So for Olympic, now that I've had the chance to fully confirm that double substitution at half-time with Molesky and Lysiak making way. Forward by Voice Yulden and intercepted, but APIA don't get very far, and McHugh Shaw finds Yatim. Yatim towards Chloe Gordon. Gordon wheels away, finds McHugh-Shaw. McHugh-Shaw will go direct. It's left by Maxine Peake. She knew Aiden King was making the darting run in behind her. APIA clear the danger. Bottom air. And Gordon finding few. Now, Gabrielle Peake. And the direct play doesn't work as Teal Kilbride clears. And for Olympic there, also in a 4-3-3 shape with Brianna Clark in goal. Back four from left to right as I see things. It's number 3, Ebony McHugh-Shaw. Number 26, Jai Bowman. Number 4 on the ball right now, Baxter Thew. Number 2, Gabrielle Peake. 3 in midfield, number 23, Chloe Gordon. Number 11, chasing this right now, Rochelle Bottomer. There's Jasnot's defence. The other midfielder, number 36, Bella Boise-Yulden. Number 3 up front, number 6, Aiden King. Number 17, Maxine Peake. Number 5, Sarah Yatton. For Olympic, of course, half-time subs don't count as a substitution window, so maximum 3 subs that they could make of the remainder of this game, and the 4 so far unused substitutes for the visitors as Thew chases and might be beaten by Lancaster here. So Lancaster has a cross blocked, and believe it or not, despite the scoreline, this is APIA's first corner of the game. Just quickly, the unused Olympic subs so far: Chloe Saros, the backup keeper. We could also see later on Maya Fernandez, Tara Maudana, and Priya Suriaga. Now, Lancaster, see, what's the left footer not taking things from the left side? It does look like it'll be Alyssa Rose. And there is quite the crowded penalty area in front of, a crowded 6-yard box. Brianna Clark facing more traffic than I do on my daily commute to work. As Lucy Hunkford keeps an eye on the pushing and shoving in the box. Rose delivers, in swinger, and it's missed, it's in! And it's a goal for APIA Leichhardt. They lead by 3-0. The set piece delivers. Rose put it right on the money. And does look like Christina Kachich. You have seen her aerial prowess already. And judging by the celebrations, it looks like it's the number 24, Christina Kachich, who scored APIA's 3rd goal of the evening. They're in such a commanding position now. Also Christina Kachich's 3rd of the campaign. Now, I picked up from my tone of voice, not 100% sure about that one. It's more multitasking time. I'm going to try and watch the stream and see if I was right. If I'm wrong, don't worry, I'll let you know. As it's back to the J-drop, so to speak, for Kachich. She's trying to build a play out from the back. They found Golding, who crosses halfway. Golding, great ball to Panagopoulos. Panagopoulos holding up, waiting for Golding's overlapping run. And Golding, she's done brilliantly despite going backwards to keep it away from Olympic. Excellent play. There's a player who's Zoe Panagopoulos. I believe she's earned selection for junior Matilda squads. A little glimpse of why she is earned such attention. Now Rose pulling out to the near touchline right in front of us. With the shouts, and how about this ball? First touch is decent from Jasnos. Clark's up there, doesn't catch it. Clark makes the block. Crofts, a little bit too high for her to control properly, and it's cleared. Great save from Clark. What a run. Well, firstly, what a pass from Rose. What a run from Jasnos all the way from the back. And I haven't seen a Jordan move that quickly since the 1990s in Formula One, because Jordan Jasnos showed great speed to get away from Olympic there. Kachich, and what a pass from Kachich. APIA really look in the mood. Lancaster's got options, 2 in the middle. Crofts racing towards the center, and it's straight at Clark. Crofts getting in position for a tap in. And Clark has denied APIA a 4th goal. Forgive me if I just go silent. Better write down these goal scores before I forget. Trust me, it has happened. to say, as I look at my own handwriting, to my mother's continuing disappointment, my handwriting is the only way in which I'm like a doctor. Oh well, I'm sorry, Mum. Now it's direct and easy from Magus, although, I mean, not that you'd want your keeper to spill the ball under any circumstances, but that was a circumstance where a little bobble wouldn't have hurt because no Olympic players running in to meet that particular cross. Past the hour mark here at Lambert Park. If you've just joined us, Eric Subihano with the commentary for this round 11 NPL Women's New South Wales clash. APIA Leichhardt with 3 goals and what is ever more looking like 3 points. Leading 3-0 against Olympic with goals from Ashley Crofts, Charlotte Lancaster and Christina Kacic. Longer ball pass controlled by Lancaster, I think trying to bring Jasnos into the play. The ball did stay in, so few back to the keeper, although offside up against APIA. And it's Gabriella Archidiacono, Sister Niros, actually from the Hillshire, just like myself, Gabriella. So it's a little bit of a Hillshire takeover for this specific side of Lambert Park this evening. Down the line towards Crofts. Bowman got there first, but the ball has crossed the touchline. Now it's Yatum finding Keane. Nice ball. Keane resuming that battle with Jasnos, and Jasnos does not get beaten. It has actually got the touch of Keane as well. Reminds me, Aiden Keane, also from the Hillshire. Oh, this is a Hillshire takeover on both sides of Lambert Park. Excellent. Hillshire takeover in League One Women's as well, because the women of the Hills United leading that division, despite their defeat last weekend in our League One Women's match of the round to Central Coast Mariners. Another excellent job done there on the mic at Plume Park by Pete Pryor. It's really the theme of doubleheaders. That was a Mariners doubleheader with the men last Sunday, with the men playing Spirit, then directly after that the women hosting Hills United. But anyway, back to this game as Lancaster chased by Thew got the ball. Yeah, that's it. I mean, with respect to the good folk to our right, not the most neutral folk there. Pretty sure Thew got the ball with that challenge. To be fair, the APIA players themselves, just not really any protests from them. Well, League One Women's, my beloved second tier of the New South Wales Women's comps, that's on my mind. Of course, you can see that review up for this weekend's League One Women's action later tonight on the Football New South Wales League socials. Might be a little bit later than you used to, because the league reporter Justin Davies, a late substitute for our commentary team. Justin currently calling the game in the top tier, NPL Women's, between University of New South Wales and the Jets. Strong tackle from Gabrielle Peake there, right in front of the Joe Marston Pavilion. Now Keane's found some space, has Peake running ahead of her. Keane cuts inside. Now Keane wants to shoot. She does shoot. Blocked by 2 APIA defenders, and then the spectator's got to be careful because that was cleared into touch. Sophie Magus very, very insistent that that ball was cleared from danger. It's not great with my vision. The double sub on the far side of the field. Oh no, triple sub. All right, great. Okay, apologies in advance, everyone. This might take me a while to figure out. Anyway, Zoe Panagopoulos, very good shift from her in midfield. She's one of the players to be withdrawn. Actually, Ashley Crofts also making way after her customary goal. Crofts has given the captain's armband to Charlotte Lancaster. Actually, not great. So, Olympic have made a sub as well. Well, this will take a while for me to figure out. Coming on, I think that's Estelle Fragale. I think I also see Gisela Pepino and Ashley Brodigan. So, okay, well, turns out 4 subs made at once. By the way, also coming on for Olympic, number 10, Maya Fernandez, having a discussion with Rochelle Borromeo. And actually, I do believe, so listening into the chat, maybe Eliza Skinner just double checking the numbers, but we're all okay, and I suppose that could be sorted out later anyway before it's uploaded to Dribble. So apologies for that. I do know Panagopoulos and Crofts were 2 of the 3 players that made way just then, but I'm not quite sure who the 3rd player was, as that appears to have been sliced out of play. Actually, Jordan Jasnos, I think, is the 3rd player that was subbed, as Borromeo shoots, took a little bit touch off a defender, which took the sting out of it. Sophie Megas falls on the ball. So, looking at how Brad Attard has changed things around, so it looks like Charlotte Lancaster has gone to left back, so she can also play as a left back if needed. Good for APIA to have that kind of versatility. Looks like the front 3 is displaying on the ball right now. Gisela Pepino. Oh, the ball's run out though. Ashley Brodigan has replaced Ashley Crofts at centre forward. So, one Ashley replacing another, although their names are spelled slightly differently. As I said, Pepino replacing Jasnos for APIA, with Lancaster dropping to left back, and Estelle Fragale has replaced Zoe Panagopoulos in the APIA midfield. Here she is on the ball right now. Excellent pass. Lancaster said she's now left back. She'll still want to get forward at every possible opportunity. Perhaps add to her tally of 1 goal. As there's a throw in. So discussions going on, but it's Yatim in possession, and read well by Kachich. Finds Rose. Now Fragale. And Golding has started her overlapping run down the right, but it's Walker looking left instead. Now Fragale. Zings it to Golding. And Golding to the centre. Pepino. Pepino with a pass. Can't find a teammate as Bowman is in the way. Now Peak, pressured immediately by Kilbride. And that's Fernandez to Gabrielle Peak for Olympic as they cross halfway. But not for long. Another time. Fragale. And well, what's the decision here? I think Fragale trapped the ball between her feet while lying on the ground. So indirect free kick to Olympic coming up. For Estelle Fragale. I think a big thank you to fellow NPL New South Wales commentator Nicola Posder for giving Estelle one of my favourite nicknames of all time. We'll hold that thought as Olympic Cross, and it hits the side netting. But yes, it's one of my favourite discoveries from a couple of years ago, where Nicola Posder, long-time NPL New South Wales media person, covered this league for over a decade now. He's nicknamed Estelle Fragale, the Gennaro Gattuso of NPL New South Wales, which is such an excellent nickname. We've got plenty of touches since coming onto the field, and She tackles as ferociously as Oljanara did back in the day, which you'll love to see. Oh, on that theme, actually, Estelle Fregali, another Hillshire person. She's I believe from memory, she's a Glenhaven junior, so that's actually not too far away from where I live. And Estelle Fregali, along with Gisela Pepino, so both come on recently as substitutes for APIA. Also both in China recently for the Australian Women National Futsal team's debut participation in the Futsal Asian Cup. As that gets past Olympic, Clark plays it forward. So the group stage didn't go well for the Women's National Futsal team, or we should probably just call them the Futsal Matildas to make it easier. Out in the group stages, but it was still wonderful to see Australia in that competition for the first time. And actually quite a fair bit of NPL New South Wales and Football New South Wales League's representation in that Futsal Matilda squad from this competition, NPL New South Wales. I'm thinking off the top of my head, Daisy Arrowsmith from Manly United, Alexia Karastal from Illawarra Stingrays. I'm sure I'll forget someone. Also, to continue that Hills theme, so the starting keeper of the Futsal Matildas was well, actually, current Hills United goalkeeper Sarah Easthope. Now, Rose overran it slightly, but then what a tackle from Walker to win it straight back, clean as a whistle. And Walker was sliding in there very, very late. And she's given away a free kick. Olympic get on with it, and they have to, really, with the score at 3-0. At the moment, it's as it was in the Sapphire Cup game between these two, which APIA with a 3-goal buffer. Now, another Olympic substitute, and it's going to be Bella Boise-Yulden making way. This is better for me, personally, when only one sub is made at a time. But yeah, typically industrious shift from Boise-Yulden. She makes way, and Priya Siriaga, number 25 for Sydney Olympic, has come on. Just got a message from as the cross comes in. And Yatimon lost a bounce at the vital moment. It's cleared, but that's unfortunate for Sarah Yadim. In fact, Pepino makes it better than the clearance. She'll get onto this. And Pepino has gotten past McHugh Shaw. And undercooks the pass. And Olympic win it back in the center circle with Fernandez. Siriaga now, her first touch. The defenders with you and out to Gabrielle Peak. Keane to the left foot, cutting inside, then straight to McNulty. Siaga, good hustle to win it back. Well, actually got a message from Nicholas Kudniak. Apparently there's taped up numbers in his game. Big, for those of you who follow the A-League men's team's memories of Brisbane Roar in that Asian Champions League qualifier from many years ago now. As it's direct, and then Magus, correct decision to leave it. Yatib couldn't reach, out for a goal kick. Of course, if you remember when Brisbane Roar had taped up numbers in that Asian Champions League game. I think that was at Queensland Sports and Athletic Centre. I mean, most of you remember the game for that. How unfortunate that look was, especially when the numbers started to fall off. I remember that because Brisbane Roar lost to a team from the Philippines. Shout out to the good folk at Ceres Negros. May that club rest in peace. Unfortunately, they don't exist anymore. But great night for Filipino sport, that one. Bowman plays it back to Few. Bowman getting another touch. She's moved into midfield for the time being. She's going to continue her run. but APIA win it back. Brodigan trying to run in behind and via Thew's foot. APIA might have a chance. Collision as well, I think, between Fernandez and Brodigan, but we go on. To the final quarter and hour proceedings here. It's APIA Leichhardt leading by 3-0. Goals from Ashley Crofts, Charlotte Lancaster, and Christina Kachich. Put the team in maroon in such a commanding position. In fact, maybe the last 5 minutes, I mean, it's dangerous if I multitask, but the other games scheduled for later, all those 5 p.m. kickoffs about to finish. I might just have a quick look at the YouTube app, see some full-time scores. Again, with the usual disclaimer, there's a very slight chance that the score's wrong in the display, but we hope. And then if you missed it earlier today, it was Bulls versus Rams in the Old Farm, with Bulls beating Rams by 5-2 at Northbridge Oval. Actually, I'll be at Northbridge Oval in a couple of weeks for commentary, as Pepino on the move tries to find the right pass, but Thew's in the way. Pepino, and then just in the end outnumbered, I guess. Perhaps one for watchers of the APIA women's streams. Something for 2 weeks' time, because on the Sunday, the 1st of June at 2:40 p.m, I'll have commentary for the game between Bulls FC Academy and APIA Leichhardt at Northbridge Oval. And I will make sure I have the same puffer jacket I'm wearing now, because Northbridge Oval in June, that is a very, very, very cold place. Header from Walker. Now Fernandez looking for options and plays it straight back to Walker. And Peak did the best to win it back, but it's still with APIA. Lancaster down the line. Blocked, I think, by Gabrielle Peak. Keane runs into Kachich, and Fernandez, nice couple of touches to keep the move alive. Ball makes its way to Yatim. And now Yatim might get the return ball. Megas has got to rush out, and a little bit of a bobble, but he stopped Yatim getting to it first, which is the main thing. For APIA, almost after a really rough spell where they lost 5 and 6 in the league. And now, unless we see something unlikely, although it can happen, APIA Leichhardt about to make it 2 wins in a row. Yes. Gets it to Borromeo. Borromeo drops a little fake. And a nice pass to Suriaga. There's Keane on the outside, but Suriaga goes direct. Magus catches. Looking ahead to upcoming fixtures as we are close to completing the first half of the season for APIA Leichhardt. 7 days' time, Sunday 25th of May, 5 p.m. They're back here at Lambert Park to host Illawarra Stingrays. And then, as I said, they finish the first half of the season with the game I'm calling at Northbridge Oval, Sunday 1st of June, 2:40 p.m. kickoff, away to Bulls FC Academy at Northbridge Oval. Well, for Olympic, also APIA Leichhardt, by the way, also have a Sapphire Cup Round 4 game away to Spirit. details yet to be confirmed on that one. Suspect that'd be around Wednesday the 28th, if it's not already been scheduled. Wednesday 28th or Thursday 29th of May for that Spirit versus APIA Cup tie. For Olympic, they finished the first half of the season in 7 days' time, Sunday 25th of May, 5 p.m. kickoff at Petermore Field. They host Mount Druitt Town Rangers. And then in round 13, Sunday 1st of June, a 5 p.m. kickoff. They're away to MacArthur Rams at Linwood Park. Actually, that's Linwood Park. That's another ground that's rejuvenated. I think relayed their synthetic pitch recently. Looks quite lovely there, down there at St. Helens Park. And of course, MacArthur Rams versus Sydney Olympic. I like to call that the Teresa Pillai's plate in honor of an absolute legend at both clubs, Teresa Pillai's. Now, passing move here for Apia to Pepino to the edge of the box, and then they've lost her balance just as she tried to play the killer pass. Kachich has tracked Keane, and then Lancaster, the second defender, but Keane goes on. Holds down R2 with the defenders in chase, and Keane, the ball towards Kilbride. Exactly one person shouts for handball, and it is ignored. Now, cue back to the keeper. And by the way, APIA Leichhardt last week, no, actually no, 2 weekends ago, their home game against Newcastle Jets Academy was washed out. So again, details for that have not been confirmed yet. That's the run. Actually, I've got to make an apology because it's only just now that I've realised that number 13 for Olympic, Tara Baudana, is on the field. Yeah, I'm sorry, Tara. So it looks like she might be lining up at right back, so she might have replaced Gabrielle Piquet. It's a maybe. Borromeo loses out. Now Pepino. Pepino was clean tackle from Borromeo, but the ball rolls to Rose. Rose brings Lancaster into the play. McNulty started a run. McNulty, tracked by Suriaga. Still McNulty to Lancaster. And Lancaster, great run. Tries to cut back. Still off for grabs in the box. Lancaster shoots. Blocked by a defender. And Brianna Clark did not keep it in play. So Apia corner coming up. So as the APIA under-23s continue their warm-up, actually they've stopped it to watch this corner. There's the signal, another crowded 6-yard box. In-swinger right towards the goal, it's not held, and then Baxter Thew thumps it towards the centre circle. Brad Athart voice as he continues to shout the instructions. Now the hop off the turf evaded Bowman, but Clark takes over for Olympic. So we got another to the swing of things. Another full set of games, full set of 7 NPL Women's New South Wales games next weekend. As Keane chases this one, Apia scrambling to get back. Keane runs at Lancaster. Keane shoots, and then it's actually turned out to be a cross just over Sarah Yatim. She couldn't reach. It's a goal kick. And double sub coming up for Apia. Well, actually, I cannot see a goalkeeper, so by process of elimination, it won't be Paige Cuthill coming on, so that must be Caitlin Kabarazov and Aurelia Collins, who will make a late cameo in first grade. Who's coming off? Brett Hartard using the maximum complement, maximum allowed 5 subs for this game. Looks like Alyssa Rose is one of the players to make way. She's been great pickup in mid-season for Apia. Excellent performance from Alyssa Rose, who scored last week in Apia's 3-1 victory over Northern Tigers. Actually, well, once again been fooled by the fact that players can leave the field from the nearest touchline. So I think Mia Golding is the other player to make way. So it's Alyssa Rose and Mia Golding off. Aurelia Collins on for Golding and straight to right back she goes. Well, Caitlin Kaparazov has replaced Alyssa Rose, so it's Kaparazov at left back. I think Hannah McNulty has gone into midfield to fill the gap vacated by Rose, and Charlotte Lancaster is back in the front three for APIA. Olympic trying to squeeze this pace, trying to at least get on the scoreboard. APIA still have it with this throw-in. Now the hop evades Bowman and Brodigan. Pass blocked by McHugh Shaw. So, yes, as I said earlier, next weekend, typical for this time of year, full set of 7 NPL Women's New South Wales games that you can watch the same way you're watching this one. At the live tab on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. Clark playing the sweeper keeper there, and it's up then forward, but Bowman will take over for Olympic. And Bowman's won the throw. So, yes, on Saturday, 24th of May, it's a 6:30 p.m. kickoff at North Taramara Recreation Area. Fascinating game, this one. Northern Tigers versus Western Sydney Wanderers. Saturday the 24th at 6:30 p.m. Annabelle Banfield's on the commentary. The roster says Dan Ullman will be taking photos for Football New South Wales, and Annabelle presumably praying for good weather at the North Taramara night game after being rained on the last 2 times she's been there for commentary. Thoughts are with you, Annabelle. Big fan of Annabelle's commentary as Theo runs it out. Remember, at a season launch a couple of years ago, she expressed a desire to be part of the commentary team. So I said, you should tell the media manager, Mark Stavroulakis, like right now. So she did what I said. Now she's part of the commentary team. So there's the lesson. There's a lesson to the aspiring Football New South Wales media out there. You should do what I say. Keane on a run, then fakes away past the defender and another defender. Here's Keane, tight angle. And ruling as a goal kick. So Keane has hit some combination of the frame of the goal, possibly the side netting. Keane going close once more. She's been impressive, despite the scoreline for her team. And back to next weekend's games. So 6 to be shown on our YouTube channel on Sunday, the 25th of May. 5 of them are at 5 p.m. in 7 days' time. Firstly, at this ground, Lambert Park, APIA Leichhardt host Illawarra Stingrays with our Irish friend, David Feeney, on the commentary. And the roster says Christina Tricheska will be doing photography. Good for you, Christina. Meanwhile, Sydney Olympic hosting Mount Druitt Town Rangers at Petermore Field, 5 p.m. Sunday 25th. Also at that time slot, Manly United hosting University of New South Wales at Cromer Park with my favourite commentators, Mel Muscat. It's a great job. And also Mel Muscat, now doing ground announcing for Sutherland Sharks as well. Go Mel. So Mel will be making the trip to the northern beaches for that one. Jeremy Denham taking photographs for us. And speaking of Maltese commentators, up at the Hunter Valley, Ashley Borg will be on the shaky scissor lift at Lake Macquarie Regional Football Facility to call Newcastle Jets versus Sydney University, 5 p.m. Sunday the 25th. Jets versus Sydney, we can call that the Clare Wheeler Derby. And the other 5 p.m. kickoff in 7 days' time, the Cartha Rams hosting Spirit FC at Linwood Park. You could call that the Stephen Peters Showdown. The Perth Glory women's coach has coached both of those clubs. In fact, he's in attendance tonight as well. That's good. Always good to see Stephen. And then to round off next weekend's action for round 12 of NPL Women's New South Wales at the always odd kickoff time of 5:10 p.m. Don't ask me why it's 5:10 and not 5 p.m. But anyway, 5:10 p.m. at the Arctic Circle in Macquarie Park. Gladesville Ravens hosting Bulls FC Academy. 2 teams that were promoted to this division after the end of the 2022 season. Back to matters here. Time is almost up. APIA so close to their 6th win of the season. It's Fernandez finding teammates, and then Chiaga running beyond as Keane cuts inside. Here's Keane, and she's squeezed away from it by a couple of defenders, so that's excellent play into the 90th minute now. Not sure how much the officials will add as Thew takes over. By the way, I almost forgot to self-promote my call for next weekend because I am on League One women's duty, so the match of the round from the women's second tier. As sliding in is Keane, and then, well, that's going to be a foul called against Aiden Keane and against Sydney Olympic. But yes, my contract. So, got to talk about my game. So, for the fans of my commentary. I know you're out there. Sunday, 25th of May, 5:30 p.m. at Valentine Sports Park. Calling the League One Women's Match of the Rounds, Hills United versus St George FC. That's good. I've never called a women's game between Hills and St George FC before. It's be good to call a contest between two clubs that are always in the mix in League One Women's, the women's second tier. Also good to have a very short trip to commentary for once. Doesn't always happen for me. Now they go direct, and it's behind Borromeo. Yatim will chase, tracked by Collins. Now she finds Fernandez. Fernandez immediately faced by a maroon wall, and then plays it straight to APIA Leichhardt. Now Walker, uncharacteristically loose touch, but McNulty was able to bail her out. She finds Collins. That's nice. Now Collins, plenty of room, goes well. She might have rushed that a bit because she had so much room in front of her. Instead, it's marshaled by Bowman. I suppose this would be a bit of a test of the appropriateness of self-promotion. If you're a big fan of my commentary, also Saturday, 24th of May, 7:15 p.m. I'm on NPL Men's New South Wales duty. I'm going to Penshurst Park to call St George City versus Rockdale Illingdon. I'm going to make sure I get a souvlaki beforehand. Venue with a great canteen there at Penshurst. Now it's Borromeo. Borromeo thought about the shot, decides to find a teammate. Keane keeps it away from Fregale. And it's kept alive. Cross comes in. Well, it lands on the roof of the net. Did end up looking at the third goal. Now I'm pretty confident it was Christina Kacic. It's easy to get her mixed up with Ashley Crofts, players of a similar height with similar hair color, but the way I remember it is Ashley Crofts wears lime green boots. Lime green, just like the colors of Magic Futsal Club, who she used to play for. I find that's the easiest way to tell them apart. I mean, I could have used Canberra United, who she also used to play for, Ashley Crofts, but when in doubt, just mention futsal. That's my approach. As here's Borromeo, and now Baudana. And Baudana winds up, and will be parried and then caught by Magus, with no Olympic player in the vicinity. And then over 2 minutes of time added on. And yes, this one's almost done. A lot of possession in the last 5 minutes, but without seriously threatening the goal. And now, there's APIA play it forward. We'll get away from Lancaster. Run from Bowman, but straight at Fregale. Fregale not really engaged by the defense, so she runs and then finds Kaparazov on the overlap. And Kaparazov, decent cross. Olympic with a couple of touches to clear it as the light rail passes behind the goal to our right. It's a convenient ground to get to with a light rail stop. Easy walking distance, just across the road actually. Now, Borromeo again finding space between the defence and the midfield. Now it's McHugh Shaw forward on the overlap. That ball is comprehensively cleared by Kilbride. We'll see a full-time score, so Stingrays have beaten Manly United by 3-0. And now Siriaga with a long-range effort, which is blocked. APIA really hustling. It's an impressive effort. That's what the coaching staff will want to see. They'll want to keep a clean sheet, and they will, because it is APIA Leichhardt who defeated Sydney Olympic by 3-0 here. Good end to this first grade doubleheader at Lambert Park after APIA defeated Olympic 2-0 in NPL Men's New South Wales. Ashley Crofts, who got the home side on their way with a typically clinical finish in the first half, her 10th goal of the season. And then just after the restart, Charlotte Lancaster made it 2-0. Good work in the build-up from Zoe Panagopoulos. And then the third goal was added from a set piece by Alyssa Rose, Christina Kachich heading home, and that's how we got to the final scoreline of APIA Leichhardt 3, Sydney Olympic 0. Just a reminder to keep an eye on the NPL New South Wales socials, the Facebook page for the wrap of the games, which will come up later this evening. More great work done by our fearless leader, the Golden Greek. The Greek got a Football New South Wales Mark Stavroulakis. There'll also be highlight clips from this competition and the NPL Women's New South APIA Leichhardt, they're here in 7 days' time to host Illawarra Stingrays with our Irish friend David Feeney in commentary, while for Sydney Olympic, they're back to at Petermore Field, their home ground, to face Mount Georgetown Rangers, both of those games, 5 p.m. Sunday, 25th of May. But this is Eric Subiano signing off from Lambert Park. We hope you've enjoyed our coverage of the NPL Women's New South Wales coverage. We hope you're warmer and drier than we are here at Lambert Park. Take care. Please remember to protect the dolls. Remember that coffee and tattoos make you feel better, and we will see you soon.